Good evening and welcome to the programme. My very special guest this Christmas Eve, a part of an all-singing, all-dancing show business family. Donny and Marie Osmond are just as famous for their 100-watt smiles as they are for their vocal talents, which have been extraordinary for a very long time. In the 70s, wholesome goodness was their trademark, and I'm sure it still is. And collectively, the Osmond family sold an unbelievable 25 million records, probably more. Well, after a 20-year break from our television screens, Donny and Marie are back, hosting their own talk show that's shown exclusively on the FX channel. Before we meet them, let's have a look at the all-new Donny and Marie show, shall we?
Today on Donny and Marie, TV and film actress Pamela Anderson-Lee, Academy Award winner Martin Landau, and Love Lines Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla. Ladies and gentlemen, Donny and Marie.
Nothing stretches.
I think he looks groovy.
Well, it's terrific to be able to talk to you, Donny and Marie, and it's great to see you on our television screens again, too.
How you doing, John?
How are you, John?
It really is terrific to talk to you, and when I think of all those songs that I used to play back in my disc jockey days and all the pleasure that you gave so many people in the world, I just wondered why you sort of disappeared for that 20-year period, and you did disappear to us.
Well, it seems like we disappeared. We both pursued so many different avenues of the business. We both went into recording and musical theater. I did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat for like 6 years, and Marie did, what did you do?
Well, I was kind of cleaning up after you.
Yeah, she cleaned up after me.
No, I was doing Sound of Music, and also I did King and I on Broadway. But I recorded for 10 years, had a bunch of #1 records country, but I don't know that country is that big in Australia. We came over there for a brief period of time, probably around, no, I mean I did after we did. Oh. And did some of our songs over there, like Meet Me in Montana and No Stop in Your Heart, but country is not that big in Australia.
It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I remember you always had a fondness for country music. In fact, I think your direction probably would have been country if maybe you hadn't have joined the family and sung with them. You loved country music, didn't you, Marie?
Oh, very, very much. As a matter of fact, after we broke up, that's what I did. I went back and recorded, came out with a bunch of songs that, well, they went to #1 here. I don't know what they did over there, but...
They went to 100 with an anchor in Australia.
Don't you love him?
Yeah. But why did you go back to television? When I look at what you've done and I look at the size of your families, I would have thought you were sort of pretty busy doing all the things that you were doing without going back to television, which is pretty demanding.
Well, the nice thing about it is that we're locked into one area here in Los Angeles. We can go home and sleep in our own beds, and we're not on the road all the time. There is something about live theater that I do miss, although we're still recording and things like that. But it's just felt time to come back together because it's been 20 years since Marie and I have been together on television.
Has Donny told you about his new Christmas album? Shameless plug.
Have you released a new Christmas album? You have got. I haven't heard it yet. Nobody sent it to me yet.
I don't know if it's down in Australia right now. Maybe next year it'll be out.
Yeah, we'll just wait till next Christmas.
See,
everything can wait. Everything can wait. Tell me about your family lives, because you have big families, don't you? How many, Donny? How many children do you have?
I've got 5 boys, John.
Marie,
and my oldest is will be turning 20 this summer, and the youngest is about 10 months old.
I see. Well, that's a fair spread, and I would have thought that'd keep you fairly busy. And Marie, what about you?
I have 6 children. My oldest is 15. I had him when I was 10. And then my youngest is a year old.
You realize you shouldn't say things like that, because looking at you, people will believe that you did have the children when you were 10. Because
oh, see, now, John, I'm in love with you.
Tell me about your childhood. Did you really have a childhood? Because you were on television when you were 3.
Well, you know, childhood, what is normal? That's the big question. And it's kind of interesting doing our talk show now because, you know, we can sit back in a perspective talking to all these celebrities, from a point of view that's never been really captured before. And, you know, we tried to be as normal as we possibly could, but no, you know, our childhood was not, you know, per se normal. But I think our parents did the best they could to try to keep us as grounded and real as possible.
And where are your brothers now? Where's the rest of the family? You were the two
That's
that
a good
dominated.
question. No.
Have you ever heard of a place called Branson, Missouri? I don't
Yeah.
know if the Australians know about that.
Yeah,
Well, my brother Jimmy, you remember little Jimmy Osmond, the
Yeah.
little teeny kid?
Danced with all the animals.
Yeah, on the Donny Marie show. He is now the producer for the Osmond Family Theater in Branson, Missouri, and all of our brothers are back there performing, and it's probably one of the, well, it is, in fact, like the #1 hot spot or show to go to in Branson, Missouri.
More people will go through Branson, Missouri in one year than Disney World.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's kind of a mecca. Everybody kind of comes there and they catch 3 and 4 shows a day and go home.
Yeah.
So they stayed in the business, not quite as obviously as you did, but they did stay in the business. What about your family, your mum and dad? Were they musical, showbiz people?
Well, not so much professional. Our father used to sing a little bit in choirs. My mother knew saxophone, so she taught us how to play saxophones.
In a high school dance band. So
That's
but
about
nothing
it.
Professional.
The professionalism really started with the Osmond brothers on the Andy Williams show clear back in the 60s, and then we joined in later.
And then the show was the 70s, the Donny and Marie show. You see, we didn't get to see a lot of it in Australia. We should get to see a bit of it now. Let's have a peek at this.
Donny and Marie.
Oh, we were on the wrong sides.
Is that the Chattanooga choo-choo? Track 29.
May tomorrow be a perfect day. Good night, everybody.
Tell me, now you've got to tell me honestly.
How'd you like those outfits there, John?
Yeah, listen, when you see stuff like that now, tell me truly, what do you think?
Oh, you know, enough time has gone past where those are great memories. You know, we did some wonderful skits back then. Some of the comedy was a little bit stupid, but it worked for the time. And back in the 70s, that's what was going on.
You know,
Not very many people were wearing those kind of outfits.
Oh, yes, they were. It was the 70s. But the thing that I enjoyed about it is we got to work with wonderful people like Lucille Ball and Groucho Marx and John Wayne and, you know, some of the legends that I look back on and say, what an honor it was. You know, you say, were we normal kids? No. But to work with those kinds of people every day and to learn from them. And I remember Makeup, Milton Berle did the show. Wow, that was a real great lesson for me in comedy. And it was a wonderful life we lived. So you look back on those things, the first thing I think of is, wow, it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun.
See, Marie said something earlier, John, that was pretty important, and that is we have been...
Really? You thought I said something
Well, that was one thing.
Huh?
But we have been in that position before, and so now that we're able to actually interview people, being in that position, we know exactly what they're going through. And so we can relate to them on such a different level than the average interviewer can.
Mariah Carey did the show, which will be coming up. We're getting some wonderful guests, but Mariah Carey did the show the other day, and it was really interesting to sit there and talk to her while she is in the heyday of her career and recording, to sit down and just ask her some really, you know, interesting questions, I think, about...
You know who I found interesting to talk to? Sorry, we're taking over here, John.
No, I'm really... I just want to hear this. I want to hear this.
Talk to Hanson. Because Hanson is going through a whole thing that the Osmonds went through back in the 70s, a very teeny bopper kind of image. And it was very interesting to talk to them to see how they're going to get over that hurdle someday.
And they're very aware of it, too, which is really interesting. It was really fun to have Garth Brooks do the show. Garth had so much fun. We did the whole show with him. And it was really so much fun to talk to him. He had so much fun that he's going to come back in February and do February Sweeps with us.
When you talk about back in the early show in the 70s, talking to people like John Wayne, I mean, you two were so young, and they were such substantial names in the industry. Who was perhaps the most surprising back in those days, not in the current show, in the
surprising in what sense, John?
Surprising with somebody who you found disarming. I mean, what did you expect from John Wayne, and what did you find from John Wayne?
I found that he had such a great sense of humor. he did this comedy skit for us. And the guy really, really had a great sense of humor.
And he had a great sense of humor about himself and who he was. It was really nice to see that he, especially to me, it seemed like the bigger the star, the more real they were. Especially longevity, those that lasted a long period of time.
For instance, she mentioned Lucille Ball. We learned so much from her as far as comedy is concerned. Paul Lynde.
Tough lady.
Very tough lady.
Really,
Paul Lynde
really
was a
tough.
very funny man to be around. We basically learned from the best in the business. Very fortunate position we've been in.
Groucho Marx, dirty old man.
He was a dirty old man.
I was going to ask you
funny
about
to
him.
watch.
Was he really funny? Was he really just funny all the time, Groucho Marx?
So smart.
He was quite feeble at the time that he was on our show. As a matter of fact, they pulled him from the show during the taping. Very smart man, but quite feeble at the time.
Why
did you quit that television show at that time? Because it was monstrously successful, wasn't it?
It was a time for us to move on to other things, and it was quite well. We stopped the ice skating. We went into this whole disco thing, you know, and it was time for us to
disco thing.
Disco was in, you know. And, but we wanted to pursue our own separate careers again because we were separate artists prior to the Donny Marie show.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to pursue that again.
Do you think that you might have...
I think that's... I'm sorry.
Okay.
This delay is kind of difficult, but I think that's the key statement that he said. We started out solo artists. I mean, he was doing songs like Sweet and Innocent and Puppy Love. I was doing like Paper Roses and songs like that. And the thing that I found is there came a point is, can we do this on our own without each other? And I think that's why coming back now is so comfortable, because the choice that we made to come back is one, we've done that now. He's had #1 records. I've had #1 records on my own since. We've done Broadway, we've done theater, we've done so many different things. We both turned down
but it's quite
wonderful
obvious,
shows.
It's quite obvious in the show that I carry her.
That's it. But it's really fun. I can't tell you how much fun it is, John, to come back together and work with my brother. Because first of all, I think chemistry is everything. And it's really fun because I can go places with him that I never could if I had a regular co-host.
All right, here
What are you
go.
doing?
Yeah, I'll give you your $1.
Do you think...
But it's a fun chemistry we have.
Well, I really have to tell you that I think it's amazing after all these years of working together and being brother and sister. I just have one sister. And I doubt I could have gone
That's enough.
I doubt I could have gone this far with my sister without having a disagreement. But you just have lived a life, it would appear, with not having any sort of disagreement, or is that not the case?
No, that's not true.
No, we disagree.
That's not true. See, we agree to disagree. There are many times at the studio that...
See, I'm always right.
Yeah, I let her think that. But we do disagree on many, many things. But we do agree to disagree. But when the show starts, we come together, and since we've been performing together for so many years, we're professionals, and when the camera's on, the show must go on.
And most of the disagreements that we have, there's never any personal thing. It's usually, okay, fine, okay, fine. And we're both very strong in our opinions. But I think that's the nice thing about it is when we step in front of the camera, I hope he knows that I will be 100% prepared.
I don't know
and
that
I know
yet.
the same with him, that he's 99% prepared. And so... It's a very comfortable place. I can look at him, John, and I know what he's thinking, and that's scary. Yeah, I do. Get out of here.
Okay.
Tell me this. You've got to have professional egos. So didn't you in those early days sometimes think, she's getting too much of this damn camera and I'm not getting enough, or the other way around?
You should see her dressing room. Our entire budget has gone to her closet.
Back in those days, who advised you? I mean, there was a possibility you were going to be overexposed. There was all sorts of commercial product available on the market because we used to get it here. Who advised you?
Well, through the years, we've had good management, and sometimes we've had poor management. But you have to trust certain people in the business. But by and large, and most of all, you got to go with your gut. You got to do what you want to do, what you feel comfortable doing, because in the end of the day, or at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. And if you're doing something what other people are telling you what to do, and you don't like it, you can't blame anybody but yourself.
You know, honestly, John, in those early days, I mean, that's really true what he said, but in those early days, we had no idea the kind of marketing they were putting out on us. I'm still finding things that people will bring to our show now, like record cases and pillows. And
did you see the radio the other day?
oh, and there was
They
some
had a
kind of
Donny Marie radio.
tambourine set or something
never
like
saw the
that.
tambourine
And I'm like,
before.
man, I have never seen all these things. They had marionette puppets of us.
Somebody made a lot of money off us, John.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
so, you know, some of that stuff you don't know goes on.
no, yeah, that's the tragedy. I mean, people are taking you and they are using your talent, and you hear a great deal about.
Yeah, but then again.
Go on.
Yeah, then again, though, you have to realize, John, we're still in the business after 35 years.
Yeah.
We're still working. We're still enjoying our business. And you know, you can complain as much as you want, but boy, we're very lucky.
Very blessed, very lucky.
Does your faith have a lot to do with your attitude? Obviously, somebody's made money out of you and perhaps treated you badly, but you have survived in the business, and you appear to be terrifically happy having survived in the business. Has your faith contributed a lot to that?
Well, I think it's more of a lifestyle than looking at it as a contribution. It's, you know, we're very religious people. We don't shove it down people's throats by any sense of the imagination. But it is a lifestyle that we live constantly, not just one day a week.
I always look at it like a chair. To me, you have to have 4 legs on a chair to be balanced, and I believe that your belief system, or whatever you want to call it, your religious beliefs, is one leg of that chair. And if you don't have one of them, you get out of balance and you fall over. I think it's real important to stay balanced. And religion isn't something to make you weird or different. It's just to add that leg of a chair.
It also enables you to not get caught up in all of the hype, and to have a bigger picture and better perspective on what life is really all about than to get caught up in what a lot of people call like the Hollywood scene or whatever you want to call it.
Family in the future.
Family to us is the most important thing. You know, I've got 5 children, like we said earlier. Marie's got 6. And that's the most important thing in our lives.
Given your childhood, which at times must have been difficult, given the amount of work that you were doing and the rate you were going, has it been difficult for you to teach your children values that are more realistic than perhaps your childhood was?
I don't know. I think every parent has those challenges, particularly nowadays with what's out in the media. You know, I have a son who is a punk rocker. He's got a ska band and all this kind of stuff, and you know, the piercing of the ears and the eyebrows and all this kind of stuff. And you just have to deal with that and love them and let them know that that's not allowed. But you know, we deal with the same kind of challenges that you do and that all your viewers watch.
He's a good kid.
And he's just a wonderful boy. But as a parent, you have to be aware of what's going on in society and not just put blindfolders on and say they're going to follow the same steps that we did as children. You know, there's so much out there to pull them away from the family. So it's a constant job to be a parent nowadays.
You know, the thing is I think a lot of times people think, John, that we grew up in a naive, goody-goody type of a lifestyle.
Well, to a certain extent, we did.
You did.
Well,
But the
yeah.
fact is, the fact is you cannot grow up in the world of entertainment and be naive. You are naive to believe that. I mean, everything was around me growing up. And it's just a matter of choices, and I think those are the things that you teach your children, is that these are the consequences of your choices. And it's really interesting because, you know, in the 70s we were not considered very hip because we didn't do drugs and all these types of things. And nowadays, you know, they have all these campaigns warning kids, don't do drugs, man, it kills your brain and irreplaceable brain cells and all this kind of stuff. And so I think kids are more educated now than we were in the 70s. So I think there's give and take on all things. I think you just have to, like Donny said, make sure your kids are aware and that you're aware of what's going on.
Marie, has there been a down period in your life?
Working with Donny.
I knew that was coming, John.
Right, your turn. Your turn. Has there been a down period in yours?
What do you think I'm going to say?
Were you ever worried that back in those days that you were kind of too good to be true, that people might have seen you as not being real because of your obvious religious beliefs and because of your almost perfect persona? And it was at that time. It was terrifically healthy, but did you ever think some people might think, well, hang on, all this is too good to be true?
Well, you know, we weren't hypocrites, and we never want to be considered hypocrites. What they got was exactly what we were. and what we are.
And I think
And maybe a lot of people say it is too good to be true, but you know, a lot of the credit has to go to our parents. How do you raise 9 children in a world of show business and keep them all together? It's got to be a difficult task. I do think it was blown out of proportion to a certain extent by the media. You know, we very normal family in many, many ways. Like we said in the beginning, there's arguing that goes on in our family.
We're all very strong individuals, every single member of our family.
Sure, but we do have a very close family, and I guess to a lot of people that is a little too good to be true.
Yeah, you seem also to have a wonderful ability. I remember you sending yourself up a bit, and you've been sent along by other people, but do you seem to have the facility to rise above that? Are you able to rise above all criticism? I mean, recently I read somewhere where you were called, Donny, you were called a Mormon Michael Jackson or something, and then you were criticized, Marie, for turning down a role in Grease because you didn't want to do it. Is that true? You did that?
That I'm a Mormon Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson?
No, you didn't.
What is a Mormon Michael Jackson?
No. Haven't you heard that?
Oh, you know, people are going to make comparisons, and they're going to say all kinds of things. Have I turned down roles? Yeah, I've turned down roles. For what reasons? I mean, you know, you
Because it had butter on it.
because I'm allergic to wheat. No. But, you know, the fact is a lot of it depends on timing. A lot of it was what you were doing at the time that they were asked to do it. All that stuff gets blown out of proportion.
But you got to be. We have to be honest and say that if there is criticism in the press, if somebody does take a jab at you, you do have to rise above it. But it does hurt to a certain extent, John. You know, because you know you want to be accepted in this business. You know, you want to give a great interview. We want to give a great interview on our show. And when somebody jabs you, yeah, it does hurt a little bit. But you do keep going. I
will say this though, John, that all in all, when we talk about the media, I would say the media at large has been very good to our family. It's those tabloid type papers that really used to hurt. And nowadays, I almost look at them and I laugh. There was a big one in the newspaper here the other day saying that Donny fainted backstage and that I was bulimic and that I was
working working too hard, nosebleeds and the whole bit.
And I have to drink 8 ounces of wheatgrass every day or I die. Oh, please, I can't even stand this stuff. And so, you know, they do all these crazy things.
Actually, I like to read them to see how crazy and stupid they really are. You know, some of the statements are really, really funny.
But some of them do hurt.
Oh, sure.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And I'm sure you feel that's the same way about certain critics that may come out and jab you because of your new show or whatever.
Sure.
You've been in radio for 30 years, and now you're trying something new. They'll always take shots at somebody who's sticking their neck out trying to do something new. And I admire a person like yourself for doing a television show after so many years of being in radio.
Tell me about your home life. When you're not working, and obviously the television show takes a lot of time. What's home life like?
Very normal, very, very normal. As a matter of fact, when I go home, actually I commute back and forth to a state called Utah, which is about an hour-and-a-half flight from Los Angeles. And when I go home, I'm just Dad. I am nobody but Dad. The other day I was mowing my lawn.
He was not.
I was mowing my front yard.
You were not.
I do mow my lawn. And actually it was in the summer. This is right after the Disney movie Mulan came out, and I did one of the singing voices in Mulan. And in the neighborhood, I'm just a regular dad to the little kids. They don't know me from Adam. And this one little kid stopped me, and they said, "Donny, I saw Mulan last night." I said, "Oh, great. How'd you like it?" He says, "It was really good. You know, you should do more of that. You'll be a star someday."
That's pretty nice stuff, isn't it?
So I am a very, very normal dad when I go home.
And Marie, where's home for you?
Well, I've relocated here to Los Angeles because he's actually commutes, so he's here 5 days a week and goes home on the weekends. For me, I have to be home every night. And like last night, I was at one of my son's basketball games, and my daughter is getting ready to be in the Nutcracker on Saturday. She's performing. And so, you know, I definitely go home and I'm mom. Last night we were up till about 10:30 doing homework, and you do what you do. It's priorities again, you know. To me, my kids are all at an age where it was easy for them to move. The toughest one for me was my son, who is 16, but he's handling the adjustment great. And he loves LA. He really enjoys it here.
And what other interests do you both have? You've got an interest in motor cars, Donny, I know that. But Marie, what?
I am a race car driver. I love racing, and I love computers. I'm on the internet all the time. I'm a very techno geek when it comes to that.
What was that?
Techno geek.
Emphasis on the
On the emphasis on the geek. Okay, thank you, Marie.
Do you have a favorite motor car?
Well, the racing that I do is strictly the introduction level. I'm not into NASCAR or anything like that. So it's a category called super production.
And Marie, tell me what interests do you have? Do you read a lot, or do you garden, or do you paint, or what?
I sculpt. I sculpt and design dolls. Our dolls are now top 3, or in the top 3 now in the world to collect. And it's my hobby. It's something that, I don't know that we're in Australia, but we're in England and Germany. We just went into France, United States, Canada, and we definitely should get there. They're beautiful dolls. As a matter of fact, we just passed our 1 millionth doll sold
Really?
just a few weeks ago.
We've got some footage of the new show that we should look at, and then I want to just quickly talk to you about that. But let's have a look at this first.
Mr. King, please. Have a seat, please. Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
I'm from Brooklyn. I'm 64 years old. I'm Jewish.
Well, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me.
Like you? I love you!
That was really very, very clever and a lot of good fun. Obviously, that's the basis for the show. You both enjoyed doing it very much.
Well, we do, and like we were saying earlier, when we have these guest stars come on, we like to do all different kinds of things with them. For instance, Barry Manilow was on, and we did this one segment with Barry where he sat at the piano and we sang to him some of our favorite songs.
It was very unplugged, very... Yeah. Shows don't do that, where you just sit down and the 3 of you with a piano and sing. I mean, it's really nice to do.
We're in a fortunate position because there's not a lot of hosts that can actually sing with their guests.
Exactly.
Leanne Rimes was on, and we sang with her, and...
Kenny Loggins is going to be doing the show this week. Do you know what, though, too? Not just the singing portion of it, but Dennis Franz did the show the other day.
Do you get NYPD Blue down there?
I'm sorry, didn't hear.
NYPD Blue, the show?
Yeah, we do.
The TV
yeah, we
show?
do. Yeah.
Dennis Franz?
Yeah.
Dennis Franz. And we did a really fun piece where, you know how you do a pre-interview before you do the interview, just to see what the guest wants to talk about, if there's any points they want to stay clear of. We try to make sure that our guests are really comfortable. And so we did a segment where we explain that to the audience and say, watch, this is how we got a story from Dennis Franz. And it goes to this dark room with smoke and the light is swinging. It's kind of like an interrogation place, like in the police interrogation room. And Donnie starts it out and slams the table and says, "We need a funny story." And
ripping him apart, you know.
And it was very funny. And he was such a good sport about it. Kelsey Grammer did the show, and we did a thing about needing an emergency guest.
Somebody canceled on us. So Marie said, "Wait a minute, I got an idea." And the camera follows her backstage, and there's this great big thing with this glass that says, a booth that says, "Break in case of an emergency." She breaks it. She opens up the door. It's Kelsey Grammer. Says, "Okay, you're on."
You're on.
Tell me.
People are really good. They're having fun doing the show.
Tell me, what are you doing Christmas Day? I mean, the whole family couldn't get together. There wouldn't be a house that
Well,
big.
tonight, obviously, Christmas Eve is very exciting. In a while, my wife and kids, we have a tradition. We go out and we do Ding Dong Ditch. I don't know if you know what that is.
No.
We take a bunch of presents. We find some families who are basically having a very, very tough time, not having a Christmas at all. And we drop all these presents off on their doorstep, and we ring the doorbell and we run like crazy, hide behind the bushes, and it just makes Christmas wonderful because we see all these faces of the children light up. And that's become a tradition of ours on Christmas Eve.
Well, I hope that Christmas is as happy for you as you obviously make it for a lot of other people. And thank you very much for giving us your time. It's great to talk to you on this Christmas Eve, and I hope tomorrow is a wonderful, wonderful day for you both.
Thank you, John, and all the best to you with your new show.
Thank you very much.
And we wish everybody down under a very, very happy holiday season, and it's just wonderful to be there. We're really excited our show is there.
Yes, thank you for watching too.
Okay, and we'll talk to each other again soon. I hope maybe in January in Los Angeles. And thanks again. You can see the Donny and Marie show weekdays at 11 o'clock on the FX channel. That's all we have in our program for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I've enjoyed it, and have a very happy Christmas Day, and we shall have a Christmas Day special program for you tomorrow. Until then, good night and thank you.